Hi, welcome to the Andrew Buckle book review of Heritage Comic and Comic Arts Auction. Now this is a platinum session, very, very thin. I mean, it's a really nice catalogue. I mean, it's just brilliant. I love all the artwork all the way through this, obviously the covers as well as the artwork itself. But this is a very unusual one, the thinnest one I think I've ever seen. And this is March 30th, April 2nd of 2023. Let's just go through it. I love this. That's just lovely. Look at that. Just brilliant. Now you could put that up on the wall, couldn't you? That sort of stuff. And those ones as well. Maybe I should. Maybe I should cut them out, put them on the wall. It was quite expensive catalogue, so I'm not going to do that. But still, Marvel Comics #1. I love it. Absolutely brilliant. And the reason I get these ones, the Platinum Sessions, is because they have really supersized pictures of all the covers and artwork. Sometimes you get the other ones, they're fairly small. This looks good. Look at that. Selling Superman, the film. 300,000 comics. And I was watching a YouTube trailer of it. Wow. And he was showing sort of like Ghost Rider issue 1. I remember buying that when it came out in the shops. Also Star Wars #1 and all those ones. Fortunately, I only bought one copy. My copy was quite tatty after a while. I reread it 5,000 times. I should have bought about 10 or 20 copies. Would have been great. I don't think there were 10 or 20 copies in my hometown. Would have been nice. But still, that looks pretty good, that film. However, the actual catalogue itself, just superb. Look at that. Beautiful Bernie Wrightson. I mean, that is just glorious. And also, of course, great Green Lantern there. Neil Adams. Just love that. Now, this one, Howard the Duck. And this is the one reason I like these ones. Normally, the other ones you get sometimes quite small. You do sometimes get big full page, but quite often it's very small. Here, you get the full-on full page, and this obviously brilliant X-Men 1 and Howard Duck. And that, Tales of Suspense #39. What a brilliant one to get there. I mean, that's just absolutely gorgeous. I don't know how many other pages are. Maybe this is the only page from that book. But it would be brilliant to see, and I'm surprised they haven't done that yet, an artisan or artist edition of some of these really early sort of Marvel Comics ones. That would be just brilliant. Still, if it happens, it happens. Now, of course, there are ones like this one here. These ones, the Daredevil ones, Frank Miller. There is, of course, an artisan edition for that, as well as artist edition. Just glorious work. George Perez. So, now, one thing slightly odd about this catalogue is that they use that. I don't know why they just, the space, why not? Maybe put something else, or maybe zoom in and sort of do a sort of nice, like, sort of image, maybe faded slightly, but you've obviously got the information, which is great. They could have put the information there. They could have focused on maybe a very sort of small part of it, just to give the whole sort of, likewise with this. A lovely one there, Batman one, Alex Ross. Oh, love that one. That's Tim Sale. I loved all those Tim Sale ones. They were absolutely brilliant. The Spider-Man one was great. The Hulk one, loved them. Oh, that's a really unusual one. World's Finest. Don't see many of those. Don't know why. But anyway, the Bernie Wrightson one, here's Shelley, of course, just for, if only they bring out an artisan edition of that, I would love to see. And of course, there was, years ago, you could get this Bernie Wrightson one, Frankenstein. I don't think there's any copies around now. I haven't seen a copy, certainly, but it's quite often ridiculously expensive. Now, it does include some covers. This one's Action Comics #1. And again, it's great to see these ones. You can see how sort of, but apparently this was the second cover appearance. Didn't realise that. Apparently one of the most valuable Golden Age comics. Of course, it's got the inevitable Spidey one there, Amazing Fantasy. Seen that one quite a lot recently. Spider-Man #3 turns up a lot on my Facebook feed. I don't know why. Maybe someone's thinking, you must go and buy this one. No. I love the story, the Doc Ock one. It was absolutely brilliant. But I wouldn't go and rush out and buy it. This is one thing I did love about this, is that they've included the back pages. Maybe they could have done that with some of the other ones. They could sort of include back pages as well. But still. But I think that's really lovely. Just great to see the back page. Now, obviously, sometimes it's not very good. Sometimes it is. The Riddler one, of course, there. Now, when you look at these, often I think, why is that an 8.5 or a 9.8? And I'm going to point this one out here. 9.8. I mean, it looks superb. I mean, I'm not saying it, I mean, you just look at that and you think, wow. I mean, that you look around the whole edge of there, that just looks amazing. But one thing that would put me off if I was buying it in the shop, obviously I haven't bought that for a long time, but if I was buying it, is that. Look at the folding. You can see on the back. And I have actually put comics back because of that. I picked up comics, you just look at it and think, what? You know, that is terrible. So I don't know why it gets 9.8. Obviously, that's their grading technique, but to me, that just seems a bit of a... It's folded around. Just not very good, because when I looked at it, I thought, oh, why is Sue Storm and the thing's head just slightly cut off? And also the hands, obviously, of the watcher. Now, you see slightly there, but not so bad. And that's the Flash one, of course. They're Pied Piper Apparel. Now, you see this one. It's very subtle, but you can see it there. Very, very slight. I mean, just look at that. Beautiful 7.5. Superb. Love that. The Superman one here is brilliant as well. I mean, that is just great. 200 a mere. The price. This is one thing why I got this one, because I thought it'd be nice to find out what the sort of prices are sort of going again. Just crazy. Absolutely gone, obviously. I mean, this one, obviously, an 8.0, obviously expecting to be over $1 million. I don't know what the prices were when they actually sold. No idea. Got here the Origin of Superman one, 9.4. Teenage Mutant Turds. Never a fan of that. I've got the artisan edition of that one, but it's not. Didn't do much for me. Wiz Comics #2, absolutely brilliant. X-Men, this one's #3, and that is it. Running through all of the the X-Men one looks absolutely glorious. Though even that's got a slight. Look at that. You've got a slight. I mean, if you're going the massive amounts of money, I would think that. But I guess it happens, isn't it? Why it's been. Just me quibbles. I would love to have that sort of issue. I mean, it just looks absolutely glorious. And that's the one reason I get these. You just look at it and think, wow, it'd be nice to hold one of those sort of ones and just look at it. But I remember them when they were like that. So it's... but still, weirdly, there's not that many auctions there. Looking through the list, I didn't see particularly many comic ones. There's one or two. There's a comic and comic arts there, April the 5th. And then you look through it, American books, you've got, no, surprising. And obviously a Hulk to finish off. But I love these catalogues, absolutely brilliant. Now, there was a small selection of other ones. Maybe I just occasionally buy them, maybe once a year, just to see what sort of prices are and sort of what's happening, what's popular, what's not, what's on the holy grail of comic books. But still, a really good little plastic one, even if it is probably the thinnest one I've ever seen. So it's, I say, very nice though. At least it doesn't take up too much room in the pile of heritage comics and comic art books.